Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the gnome train.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
A podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
So I'm Frazly, and I am joined by Rhett Pally Jill, who I stand. To use an old meme that I forgot to use earlier. So it was one of those, I kept meaning to use Stan, and it passed out of its thing. I try to make sure I use every meme, so that way...
It lets you date it's a certain milieu of the broadcast.
Absolutely. People are like 20 years later will be listening to this and be like, what? Hopefully in 20 years they know what World of Warcraft is.
Nobody thought that 15 years ago, so.
Yeah. They're all like, oh, EverQuest is going to still be around. Actually, no, when it's still around.
I know. Have you ever sat down and counted all the WoW killers?
Oh, I know.
Came out? I feel like going through a list like, yep. WoW gets craggier and some gray hairs and meaner and just keeps smashing them into the dirt.
Absolutely. And coming out with new expansions, stuff like that.
Yeah. I tell everybody I missed all the news.
Well, that's good because we're going to cover it tonight. Because on this episode.
So you'll hear me all flipping out and getting all excited.
Yes. And I love that. Of a live reaction. But before we do that, though, I want to get to know about you. We're going to know about your musical background because I don't think we've done that on this show.
We have not. I just sort of show up and yell random things and then go away again.
Which is great. For Azeroth!
Yes. For the Alliance.
Absolutely. And to all Horde listeners here, we love you too. We're going to play 2 of your new songs.
Yes.
And then we'll get the 411 regarding some WoW 8.2 news from today. But before that, Epic Insanity, what time is it?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. So let's start with Jill. What have you been up to recently?
I got my house refinanced. I'm preparing. Yes, it's a lot of weight off my shoulders. Let me tell you, it's been a problem for a while. In fact, I got my tax refund check today, and I bought all the paint. I'm painting my living room. You'll approve. I'm doing it in purple.
Nice.
That's right. I've got this little vase. It's like a 20-sided die, except the people who made it didn't realize it was a 20-sided die. So I'm going to paint numbers on the sides.
Oh, that's cool.
Home customizing. Let's see. I'm gathering the guys up, trying to find a day where we can rent the PA and get everybody into the garage to make a new video.
Absolutely.
Let's see. What else? What have you been up to?
Before we go on, you have one thing on your list that I want to geek out again.
Okay.
You said that you watched The Umbrella Academy.
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
I thought it was okay. I think some of the casting was bad. I like the idea of it, and I was curious to see what happened in the next episodes. So I guess that's some some praise of it. But I don't like the guy who plays Luther.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with you that one seemed weaker to me.
Yeah, and like a lot of the focus was on him.
Yeah.
So every time he was in a scene, the whole thing would just sort of fall on its face. That was a Luther scene. Go get popcorn.
I thought the young kid was a great pick though. He played that one well.
Yeah, he really does. And the only character that you would actually want to talk to for more than 3 minutes would be Klaus.
Yes, absolutely.
And there was one scene that perfectly encapsulated my relationship with my brother. When he runs in and says, "Oh, this stress is bad for the baby." Sure, what baby? Me. I'm the baby. Nice. That actually made me laugh. I thought the last episode was really quite strong, and I would like to see what happens, but I think it's about to get canceled, so it doesn't really matter.
That's a shame because I enjoyed the effects and stuff like. Yeah, I would hate to see those cliffhangers, but you know what? We can make our own fan fiction then after that.
The internet already is. I guarantee it.
Yes, absolutely.
They're way ahead of us. we mere mortals.
Yes, the internet is where fan fiction goes to grow and
or mutate.
Or mutate, absolutely. But for me, I saw a really good show. At least I thought it was really cool. I finished season 1 of Good Girls on Netflix.
I haven't seen that. What's it about?
It's about these women who are just tired of the status quo,
mm-hmm.
and they rob a convenience store. And then it's everything that happens from that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That does sound interesting.
And I thought they were extremely strong female leads. I mean, like, they were all amazing. I loved them. They had me laughing the whole time. I could not stop watching. So it was a great show. At least I thought it was great.
What channel is it on?
It's on NBC, and I was going to watch season 2, except Hulu again lets me down and only gives me episode 2 of season 2. I'm like, that works on shows that are not story based.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and not even episode 1.
I know, it's like episode 6. And they only give me episode 2 of season 2. So I'm like, I'm just going to wait till Netflix.
Yeah, and Hulu can be strange like that. There are a lot of things that I like about it, but they get a little weird with their episode choices.
Yeah.
So I found Dark Shadows on a couple of stations, and I'm just waiting for the opportunity. Like, once I finish fixing up some of the house, I'm going to sit down. There's 1,245 episodes because it was a soap opera.
Wow. Nice.
And yeah, each one's about 20 minutes. You should look it up. It starts out a little weird because the show started as a regular soap opera. They were about to go off the air. And so the creator said, well, we're junked anyway. I'm going to put in a ghost. And ratings started going up. So I said, well, I'm going to put in this. And then they said, I know, I'll put in a vampire. Bam, biggest show on TV.
That fascinates me because I've watched Twin Peaks. I know that's slightly different. But I watched that one and I enjoyed that soap opera. So I mean, I think if the subject material is good, I'd actually really watch soap operas.
Yeah, I mean, a good story is a good story. It doesn't matter what time of day it's presented in.
Absolutely.
I mean, the nighttime soaps were huge. I liked The New Dallas, but it couldn't survive the death of Larry Hagman. They tried and they got a season out of it, but it was time to call it.
Yeah, I need to get into Dallas. I do know that one scene though that everyone was waiting all summer to find out
who shot
killed.
JR.
Yeah.
And do you know the teasing I got when it was revealed?
No.
Yeah, look up who shot JR.
I gotta look that up now because my short memory is
Okay. You go right ahead.
One thing that I also want to bring up is we saw Back to the Future 3. I've seen it multiple times. The reason I bring this up is there might be some people who listen to this who have never seen Back to the Future or have never gone to all 3 movies. If
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the other two.
Oh, it's great. If you like the first one, I would definitely watch the other 2. If you didn't like the first one, it's more of the same. But
it was okay. I would watch it.
Well, I enjoyed 2 because it was the Back to the Future time traveling, and then 3 was all like Western stuff like that. So it was fun. It was weird introducing my nephew to Back to the Future 3. So that was the fun part.
That's cool. I actually saw a DeLorean about a year ago, and a guy was sitting next to it dressed like Marty McFly. I guess if you own a DeLorean, you might as well have a good time.
Absolutely. That's a good time to go back in time. And I went back in time this week. So I played 2 Titanic games.
Uh-oh.
I've played Titanic Adventure Out of Time, which I found on GOG. So I was able to find it and it was emulated. The graphics have not aged at all well. The characters move with weird mouths and stuff like that. But it was fun playing a game I played a lot as a kid and sadly did not beat the mystery and I died. So we thank the bottom of the sea.
Oh, is that the one where you're trying to solve a murder mystery or something on the Titanic?
Yeah.
I got that game somewhere. I never finished it either. I kept sinking.
Yeah, because I got to the end. I'm like, I'm missing one pivotal clue, and then it went down. But I wanted to at least play it again because I've not played it in years, and it was fun just going through it. I
was frustrated because my computer was really slow, and you'd like hit a button and have to wait 10 minutes to walk the next step.
Yeah. Because I mean, at the time, it was definitely pushing computers to the limits. I could only play it on certain computers because of it. I mean, and now it's like it's weird that now it looks so rough.
Yeah, I've got a game that I just loved. It was called by Jane's, the military history books, U.S. Navy Fighters.
Ooh.
And now I can't play it because processors went up so fast. You're on the carrier deck. You hit the button to start up your engines. You fly off the boat into the ocean. Nice. Like this is not going to work. So I'm just sitting there. I kept hitting the button, boom, 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 destroying billions of dollars worth of aircraft.
Oh, there goes Jill again. Oh,
that's right.
Is it on GOG? Have you looked up there?
No, I haven't. You know, a game if you like time travel for the heck of it is look up. I think it's lost in like who owns the rights, but you might be able to find it. It's called The Operative. No One Lives Forever.
Oh, I never finished that one. But I loved it.
That game is so much fun. It combines everything I love, like 60 spy movies and video games.
Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to find out where I can get a copy of that. Because I wanted to finish it because I kept listening to the CD and I loved it a lot.
Oh, yeah, the CD?
Yeah.
And no one lives forever. and evil never dies.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
I know all the words.
nice.
I never met a spy song I didn't like.
I wonder if you like the spy song, The Spy Fox. So I don't know if you've ever played
I
Spy
haven't heard
Fox.
it, but I probably would.
It was an old edutainment game by Humongous Entertainment, and the Humble Bundle has a sale going on where you can get the entire collection of kids adventure games
Oh,
for $14.
that's a pretty good deal.
I got it and I played it on Tuesday and I beat it, and it's like Spy Fox and Dry Cereal, and there's like 5 Spy Fox games. If you have, I've never played, but I had fun doing that.
That's cool. I was trying to think it was a TV show. Reboot. That was the name of it. They had an episode where they had like a James Bond style theme song in it. It was pretty awesome. It was called Firewall. Firewall. Do 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 do.
Oh man, now there's all these things I need to play that
I'm just sitting here getting you all wound up.
yeah, well, and you were talking to me about Mountain Blade before. Now I got to go in and play Mountain Blade as well.
That's right. It's a great game.
It's hard finding the time to play it because all these games that I still got to play. I'm like, I got to go back and do Subnautica some more at some point. And this week I was playing. I was playing my shaman, and I got my shaman up to 85. So now my shaman's in Vashtir. I'm finding some things in Vashtir that might possibly be alluding to Nazoth and stuff like that, because I know Azara is in charge of the Naga.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things there.
Oh, I'm sure they've been hiding clues all over for a long time.
Yeah, and anywhere where it doesn't work, they can retcon it. Because I mean, any story has retconning. It's
Of course. I mean, you come up with a better, cooler idea, and then you're left with this really dumb idea that you had 30 years ago, and it's like, why don't we just kind of quietly forget that?
yeah,
Like Jaina Proudmoore's half-elf bastard sister.
absolutely. Wait, she had a sister?
Yeah, in the role-playing game.
Oh, I had no clue.
Yeah, her dad was a dog and had a half-elf kid.
Wow.
But also, Tandred was in the role-playing game, too, and for a long time, they figured he was cut out, too. And they said, well, she can have the brother, but not the bastard half-elf sister. So they junked What's-Her-Face, and we never heard of her again.
Is that like, who was that one that was there for a while? It was in the books, in the manga.
Oh, Maidan?
Yeah, Maiden, yeah.
Yeah, he went away. Thank God for that. That was so stupid.
It shows no one's perfect at story. I mean, everyone has like ideas that they try, and then it fails. It goes like...
Yeah, but when you start getting a person, it's like that Wowkrend or Man vs. Orc versus Wild, and he's talking to the person in on Moonguard. I'm half elf, half dragon, half demon, and just like half everything. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Maiden, we get it.
Absolutely.
We don't need idiot characters like you. Go away. Just go away and die. I have a feeling he'll wind up somewhere like a dead body in a corner, and we can all go, ooh,
Yeah.
see you, Dan.
Though I also know that there's something going on in Northrend, and you actually made a song about that. Let's play that right now.
Okay, everybody shut up and listen.
A year and more had come and gone since the Lich King's fearsome rise, and since two lovers parted ways neath stormy autumn skies. The young man found a letter waiting on that frosty morn. He saw the scarlet seal upon it, and his heart was torn. I never meant to lie to you, it was best you didn't know. For no one that we love is safe, as the Enclave slaughter showed. Our king must answer for his crimes, his reign brought to an end. And that is why the onslaught sailed to face him in Northrend. Would I could have stayed with you while others marched to fight, but a paladin has a sacred duty to uphold the light, to protect our lands and citizens from those who dare invade. I'd hope someday you'd understand why I'm torn to the crusade. I wrote this hoping time has dulled the edges of your rage. I've 1,000 things to tell you, but there's scant space on the page. Our losses have been heavy, and we know we must not fail. For the sake of life on Azeroth, our armies must prevail. I cannot tell you where I am or what I'm bound to do, but all I've done, for good or ill, I've done to protect you. There's one thing I must tell you as we wait for the command. It was wrong of me to tell you that I hope you'd understand. May you never know the things I know or see the things I've seen. May you never awaken in the night from the echoes of the scream. May you never understand the reason why I took up arms. But my soul is such a paltry price to keep you safe from harm. Spring was fast approaching when the news came to the town. The Lich King had been vanquished by Fordring's champions. As crowds began to celebrate the victorious attack, a somber rider brought a scroll, the parchment edged in black. It grieves us to inform you that her fate remains unknown. All that's known for certain is she reached the frozen throne and served with great distinction beside Fordring in the van, but then fell sorely wounded at the Lich King's wicked hand. The drums of war rang in the east near Thoradin's wall, and to the north he faintly heard the horns return the call. They crossed the great Thondoral and befouled that ancient wood. He saw the plague carts coming, and at last he understood. With a ladder from Northrend crumpled tightly in his hand, he made his way back to the bridge where their love began. With tears and with apologies, he threw it in the stream. It fluttered for a moment, then was gone down through the sea. Letter from Northrend.
Wow.
I satisfied myself with playing bass over here.
I loved it.
Jamming along. I just couldn't help it. I burst out into song. I don't know if that means I'm an artist or an egotist, but I'll take either one.
I think you have a very varied and awesome music career history. So how did all this get started?
I've always been around music while my family, other than myself and my cousin, can't perform music. Everybody's always loved music. I mean, growing up in my house, I had my brother listening to 70s arena rock. My parents liked country and western. One uncle liked Elvis, the other one liked Motown. and somewhere in the middle, I found a Beatles record and said, oh boy. But between all of that, I decided one day I was going to have a concert. And I took a bunch of records that I knew the words to, put them on the stereo, and took everybody that happened to be in the house, including odds and ends and uncles, set them all on the couch, and made them watch as I performed all of these songs using a badminton racket as my guitar. So,
I love it.
somewhere there is a picture of me. I wish I could find it. I'm wearing, I thought it looked rock and roll. My brother had an old Halloween costume, an army outfit that he didn't wear. It was too big, too small for him. And I put on the jacket, so I'm standing there in a little army jacket and a badminton racket being a rock star. So
What's amazing is when you mentioned like the badminton racket, I have it. I used to be a news reporter for a video series on YouTube with a spatula.
It's close enough.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're playing music and I'm talking to a mic. I mean, it's
And it really is funny how life turns out.
yes.
I got a real guitar. And what's funny is the badminton racket, it was red. And my lifelong favorite guitar is in fact red.
Nice.
You just never know.
No, you never know.
It's like that Chuck Berry song, you never can tell.
How did you overcome the fear and the little voice in your head to begin making music?
Well, at first I didn't. The first time I was on stage, I was in kindergarten. We were having a Halloween play. And I volunteered to be one of the witches. So I showed up being all adorable in my little hat and my black. I remember I was wearing a black turtleneck and black pants, so it was really weird for a kindergartner. But my mom and I agreed that if I'm a witch, I should be wearing black.
Yeah.
So I was like a little goth kindergartner walking in. And the play started, and I almost died from absolute terror. I couldn't talk. I couldn't think. I couldn't move. I certainly couldn't remember what it was I was supposed to be doing. Somewhere in my tiny brain, I reminded myself that I got myself into this mess. I'm the one who said I wanted to do it and quit being a sissy. After that, I never had one mild thing of, geez, that's a lot of people. But I got over that really quickly. Never worried about it again. It's funny because I would go when we were a cover band. We'd go up on stage and we'd be talking in between the breaks, blah, 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 blah. Okay, time to go back on stage. And then one of my friends came up to sing a song with us. And he was so terrified. And this is something that I did regularly over and over again every week. And to see somebody that as frightened as I was when I was in kindergarten, it was a surprise. I'm like, oh yeah, some people can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still remember it. And I'm glad I got over it because there's just no way. My mom had it once in a contest. She used to go out and sing at like the state fair in talent shows. And she finally got in the finals, went in with stage fright. She managed to get through the song. And what she told herself, she told me later, and it wound up helping me, is if you're going to go up there and sing, then sing. Don't go, they're looking at you. This is your chance. Open your mouth and go for everything you possibly can. And that connects to when we were playing at BlizzCon. I went up there, and that's when I said, oh, that's a lot of people. Because, let's face it, even if you're, an egocentric artist like me, you look out there and there's 13,000 people. And it's like,
Yeah.
Have I made the right decisions in life? In my head, we were doing the countdown. I told myself, if you're going to sing, sing. To this day, I'll tell you, it's my mom. My mom's voice was saying it. I don't know if I was thinking it in her voice or just hearing it. But it was the last thing before I opened up my mouth to start singing on Crusader when we were in the finals.
Wow.
Like it was 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're going to sing. Ah! And it was really kind of funny because if you're in a band, you know that in the average bar, you never hear yourself singing. You never actually hear your guitar. It's just sort of a bah! And I started to play, and this is fabulous sound equipment, the same stuff that Linkin Park was going to be playing on.
Wow.
I could hear myself singing, and I could hear myself playing, and it actually stopped. I was like, what the hell? And you hear me hesitate in the opening of the song. If you look, you can actually see me look down and laugh. Because I was thinking to myself, well, Kristen, you've gone your entire life on your guitar playing. And now, if you're going to salvage this, it's going to be because you're singing. Shut up and sing. And you can see I'm just turning my lungs inside out the entire time. I'm like, ah!
I love that because I'm always amazed at performers because I know I would be afraid to be up in front of people. It's encouraging to know even performers like you have that stage fright sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like, it's sort of a wilting inside. You're like,
Yeah.
No, stop it, Steve, sissy. And you slap yourself in the face mentally. And you go, yeah, and march back out. Everybody's human.
Absolutely. And by being human, I bet you've seen some craziest things. So what is the craziest thing you've seen in your music career?
That would have been at Yosin's. It was looked like a quiet little bar, corner bar. Actually pretty nice. It was actually a lounge, not a bar. It was Yosin's Lounge. So it was a little larger than most. And it was on a nice quiet corner on a busy street in a nice quiet suburb. And there was a fight every week. But the most spectacular would have been now I'd never make any assumptions on did you assume my sexuality? Well, in this case, I kind of did, but it was a women's softball team and bikers who were giving them a hard time And it was just amazing. These women, the one jumped up, picked up a chair and hit the guy in the face with the chair. And then all hell broke loose. So it was like 15 people from the softball team and 15 biker dudes. And they were jumping off tables at each other and throwing bottles. And it was, I just kept thinking, I'm looking at because my parents were there, and we're all looking at it, it's like, this is the movies. My mom's like, this is great. And it's like all the old Westerns. She was waiting for somebody to get slid down the bar into the mirror and take all the bottles out. But yeah, so we started playing the TikTok polka.
Oh.
Because what else are you going to do when everybody's beating each other up, brother? Tick, 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 tock goes the clock on the shelf as the music was playing. And they're beating each other up, which only made it cooler because now it was like almost the Benny Hill music, yakety sax. If we knew that, we would have played that. But yeah, it was an exciting night.
Oh, I bet.
And then the second place would be the two biker chicks fighting in the middle of the dance floor. It was this real small bar where all the bikers hung out. They were just beating the living crap out of each other. They were big corn-fed girls. They had big biceps and stuff, and they're just bam, 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 bam. And one kicked the other, like in the movie. She was on her back and kicked her backwards. So she fell, and she hit my microphone stand. The microphone stand was coming, and I had that one moment, though. Oh, that's either going to hit me in the mouth, or it's going to hit my guitar and just rip the paint right off it. And I thought, I'll heal. And I put my hand up. The microphone stand pivoted over my forearm and split my lip.
Oh!
So now I'm standing there with this big bloody lip running down. It looked like a Kiss concert. We said, we'll be right back. So I'm in the bathroom trying to clean up, and the two biker chicks come in. I'm like, now what? My day's about to get a lot worse, isn't it? And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to do that. And they were really nice, and they gave me like $50.
Oh, wow.
And a bottle of champagne to make up for it. I'm like, well, thank you. I can't drink it because it'll really hurt.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to my cousin who can still feel her face. Thank you. I still have a scar from that. So that would have been second place.
Wow.
It's a very exciting way of life.
I did not even expect that. I mean, wow. I guess the fight is one thing I did not realize about playing the bars.
Yeah, it's you get enough people and enough alcohol, there's going to be a fight eventually.
Yeah,
somebody looks at somebody's boyfriend wrong. I had a lady try to pick a fight with me.
Wow.
Again at Yosin's bar. So we're minding our own business in the pleasant suburbs, and this one really we would do requests. And we knew it was something like 325 songs, and we just print out a list and leave a list on every table with a box of pencils. That way we always played what people wanted to hear because they just walk up and hand it to us. So I was singing all night in my inimitable style, and by the end I couldn't sing anymore. So this drunk woman's yelling, "Play Monday, Monday!" And I said, I can't play it more. So then it was getting so bad, she was over there screaming, "I requested it!" So I sent our bass player over to explain to her that I can't sing anymore. We're done. She said, play it. So we played some other song that another band member sang, and she came stomping up, fists up, bottle in her hand. And I said, "Lady, get away from me. I can't sing." And you promised to. I said, "I didn't promise to do it." It was getting uglier and uglier, and our drummer was leaning over our drum set, and he had me actually by my hair. He had his fingers in my hair trying to keep me back. And my cousin Vicky's like, she's drunk and ugly, and it's just not worth it, Chris. Just leave it. And I'm like, I was getting madder and madder. And then she pushed me, and I said, "Don't do it again." She said, "Or else what?" Those famous last words. And I took my microphone stand, and as you know, a microphone stand has a cast iron base.
Yeah.
I took it and I swung it overhead and like a foot away from her onto the dance floor, huge dent in the dance floor that we quietly packed up our gear. We sort of put my amp over it until we were ready to go. And then we just sort of ran out, and it bent the stand. And I put it down and I said, "Or that." And her friends finally got enough wits to drag her out of the place. But yeah, it was always an exciting day. Never knew what was going to happen.
Wow. Aside from the fights, what would you say is one thing people don't realize about making music? I mean, other than getting to a fight and having to protect your life with your mic stands.
And your lip split. Yeah. Random bottles flying by. Being in a band, it's interesting because it's a very us against the world mentality. And so that gets very close. But closeness also breeds fights. So you're always arguing. Somebody's always fighting. Somebody's quitting every day. Yeah. Then they come back and somebody else quits. And then somebody quits for real. And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess that one was serious." Yeah. Bands are meaner than you would think. Bands they'd slice your throat for, top billing at a crappy little local bar. We're not friends. Don't ever believe that, "Oh, we're all brothers and sisters in music." No, we're not. Maybe things are changing now because everybody's getting more touchy-feely and huggy because of Barney. But It's a wild
I
west.
love you. You love
me. Yeah. We're a happy
family.
And I think it's one of the reasons why my temper is fairly hair triggered. If I decide that somebody is not, it's not pretty. I try not to get mad, because when I do get mad, I do things like swing around microphone stands. So it's always best if I just smile and laugh at people instead.
Yeah.
Me genuinely angry is not a pretty thing to see.
Does making music bring you joy?
It does. The closest thing I can tell you is it's like casting a spell. There's music out there, and sometimes if you're lucky and you practice hard enough, I mean, most people can play a song, and that's a wonderful thing, and it's still part of it. But you are taking something out of nothing and manipulating the air around you to affect other people's feelings. And if that's not casting a magic spell, what is?
Yeah.
It's closely related to math. They're always saying there's a unified theory that everything is connected, and I think music is the connection. Yeah, I mean, if you hear a song you like, it can make the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Well, and like music and dance are in so many cultures. I've always found them amazing.
Yes, everybody sings. Everybody dances. And that right there is part of, it's there. It's like sunlight. It's like water. It's like air.
Yeah, I was even reading on Reddit about people that are deaf feeling the music, feeling the vibration of what's going on.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So it's like a language that can transcend so many barriers.
I was reading an article about Alzheimer's patients, that the only thing that gets through to them is putting them in a headset with music that was popular when they were like 18 years old, and it actually activates the sections of their brain.
Wow.
I mean, you can look at a beautiful painting and feel emotions, but you probably aren't going to look at it unless you're sitting right there at the Louvre and looking at the Mona Lisa. Remember that time you were there with your first love, but a song will do that.
We've seen, because we've been involved in the apraxia, aphasia, and stroke world, and how people with those can sing way better sometimes than they can speak.
Yes,
even words.
I've heard that, and that's really fascinating too. Even if you're in a car and you can't sing, you're listening to you're singing your song. It makes you feel better.
Yeah,
I just love it, and that's why I sit down every year and write these songs for the song contest. I don't technically have a band. We're quote unquote on hiatus, but we're definitely still a unit. So if I say, will the members of Hope Diamond please stand up, everybody would come running to my front door. For me, this is my fun recording project of the year. I've got a 4-track recorder over here. It's digital. On those songs, I'm playing everything. And they're not the tidiest of recordings. Like, you can hear times where the chord's a little more muted than I wanted to be, like, blink, blink. Oh, okay, whatever. Because it's just a demo. But we are trying to get those recorded.
Nice.
Studio recording, big deal. Real microphones.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited because I've already loved the quality I'm hearing, and it'd be so cool to hear that. Like, yeah. So what led to the forming of Hope Diamond?
Well, as I said, we were a oldies band, cover band. It was formed by Doug, not his real name, but yes, it is. So wherever you are, Doug. Okay, so that's my editorial opinion on that one. It was his band because he was the one who put the ad in the paper looking for people. So I joined second. So I had backup authority. We always went by strict seniority, even in Hope Diamond. Whoever was in first, you get your name higher up on the business card and all that good stuff. And all those tiny perks that matter.
Yeah.
That, and we made the new member wear a Burger King crown on their first show. So you're new, so you get the Burger King crown.
I would wear that all the time. I've got a Pizza Hut.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And that was also the rule on my Laser Quest team. The new people had to wear the Burger King hats continuously the entire weekend of their first tournament. And you can see pictures. I was wearing one because I changed teams, and I'm like, okay, I got to wear it. So there we sat, our Burger King hats trying to play laser tag. So, nice. But one day, Doug decided that people liked me more than they liked him because you terrible singer and not a very good guitar player and not really a very nice person, but that's beside the point. So one day he said he was going to quit. He would fire me, but the rehearsals are in my house and my mom's there and he didn't want to embarrass me. So he's just going to quit. Come on, guys. And our bass player and drummer, Gary and Keith, said, oh, whatever, Doug. And they helped him. They said, let's get your stuff. And they went out and they went in the basement and they dragged out all his stuff and packed up his car and then said, okay, see ya. We're going to go get pizza. And they went out and picked up pizza, brought it back here. We sat and ate pizza while I got my cousin Vicky on the phone and said, hey, you know that band that I'm in that you were mad that you weren't? Well, guess what? So she came, I talked to her for about 15 minutes. She got in her car, came over with her guitar. We started practicing. That went on for about another 2 years. And then we decided there's a point when you're in a cover band when you realize that the people are not cheering for you. They're cheering for the song.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, it's really quite crushing when you realize, because I realized it on a day when for some reason, 5 times that night, people requested Old Time Rock and Roll. And it's not my favorite song to begin with, but I have the voice to sing it. So I was singing it. And each time I sang it, I got obviously a little more tired and a little more sick of singing the song in really first place. And the last time it was really bad. I was losing my voice. Everything was going wrong. And everybody's out there going, woo, 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 like it was the best thing I ever heard. And I'm like, they really don't give a crap, do they? And that's when we sat and talked about it. We said, well, Vicky and I want to do our own stuff. We want to be an originals band. Gary and at the time DJ said, no, thank you. We'd rather make money. So we had to find another bass player and drummer. And we went through a couple, but then we found Roy and Joe, and that was win right there. And we picked a new name. And you want to know about the name?
Yes.
We had a problem because we wanted a name that the guys would like. And that would be like a rock band name that the guys wouldn't be embarrassed to say. And yet it wasn't sex, drugs, blood, boobs. That would embarrass me and Vicky. So we sat around and thought about it. And we said, well, how about a diamond that kills whoever owns it? And we said, all right, yeah, that's cool. We're going to do that. We picked Hope Diamond. I'd always been fascinated with it and the legends behind it. So it was a perfect time to trot out one of my pet projects and use it for my band name.
I like that.
It was supposed to be pried from the eye of the statue of Ramasita in ancient India. I have actually never seen the Hope Diamond. I went to the Smithsonian once on vacation, and there was a big Native American bash going on in the park across the street, and there was no parking. It was like 109 degrees that day, and I said, you know what? I'll come back another day. I do have a replica, an official Hope Diamond replica from the Smithsonian gift shop.
Oh, nice.
And I bought one for every member of the band. So Vicky's got one, Roy has one, Joe has one. I've even got it as a little tiny earring. So why not? I also have the ring because if you're going to do something, do it right. Yeah, it's really nice. And what you don't realize is it's a dark steel blue.
Ooh.
That's why it's so rare. I mean, there are larger diamonds, but nothing that color or that size. And it was supposed to have been owned by the French royalty. It was called the French blue, but it disappeared after the revolution. And then this diamond about the same color, but a little bit smaller and trimmed to a different shape came out. Oh, that must be it. And now the U.S. government owns it. Actually, everybody owns it. You own it. I own it. Because that's another thing about my story. I got an email from the Smithsonian telling me that it was a violation of trademark. And I said, first, you don't have it trademarked. I'm looking right at your website. Second, your own website has a statement from Harry Winston who said it was donated to the American people. And if you're going to sue me for trademark infringements, why aren't you suing Hope Diamond Chocolates, this 3rd grade class that put on a play called The Curse of the Hope Diamond and put it on YouTube? And they went, and you can't trademark a famous proper name. That's why you can play games called Titanic.
Yeah.
I could write a book tomorrow called Titanic.
Absolutely.
Sucks to be you, Smithsonian. I said, well, if I went to your gift shop and dropped a box of my CDs in your gift shop, then you would have a problem. And then, of course, I thought to myself, it would only take me about 12 hours to drive out there and drop a box of my CDs in there. But I was talked out of that. I said, you won. Don't be like Doran Martell and dance around and get your head squished.
Okay. Yeah. Now that you have the name, what is it like being in a band?
It can be extremely fun. There are days when you don't stop laughing. And days when something goes wrong, another band's better than you. Somebody's got some drama going on, and sometimes it can be really sad. Especially, like I said, the day when we were fighting over there, and I knew, and it's like we have to have a band meeting, and I thought, oh God, every time we have a band meeting, I need to get new business cards. So it's just, and sometimes after everybody goes home, you sit down and sniffle a little bit, but because you're losing friends, and that's never an easy thing. Yeah. But on the whole, I would recommend it for anybody. If you've got talent, just do it. Do what you can. Go out, have fun, be with your friends, and create stuff.
What is the best bit of advice anyone has ever given you?
If you're going to sing, sing. That's it right there. And it can be applied to anything. If you're going to go to college, do it. Whatever you do, it with all your might, all of your ability, and never apologize to anybody. So that's what I do. I know I see posts. Like when we were at BlizzCon and I went to the forums and I saw some very not nice comments about my singing, but you know what? Screw them.
Yeah.
Because did you write a song about World of Warcraft? No. Did it get picked to be in the finals? No. Are you on the stage? No. Coward. mean, come talk to me when you make your own.
And I find a lot of that's typically people, they're jealous instead of being constructive. They just want to tear you down.
It is. They're tiny people, and the only way they feel better is to drag people down with them. And it's really kind of pathetic, but it still hurts.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, really? And I know I don't have the radio-friendly voice, golden voice of, Olivia Newton-John or something. But that's okay. There's room for everybody.
I've always liked your style of music, and I've liked your voice. I remember even before I started the podcast, you sent me a demo of one of your songs years ago. It was weird to realize that when I brought you on the show, I was like, you're the one that sent me the demo.
I know. Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody tried to insult me by telling me I sounded like Lemmy after a sex change, but I thought it was an incredible compliment and thanked him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's about the coolest thing anybody's ever said to me. Yeah.
So when did you realize you had a passion for making music about World of Warcraft?
The idea started to germinate way back. I guess it was 2006. And I saw the machinima for Ballad of the Noob. I'm way too uber for the likes of this place. It's about time I pick up the pace. And it's like this Johnny Cash style talking song. And if you've never heard it, I highly suggest it.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, oh, that's really cute. Look what they did. They did that, and they made the video with it, and that's really cute. And I know that's a dark shore where the trees are scary, and so is the grass. So that got my attention, and then later on, I stumbled on Darrowshire.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of these days, I'm going to get my guitar plugged in. I'll sing that for you. But yeah, and I thought to myself, oh yes, I could do this. I like this. I sit and write songs about World of Warcraft. Why not? There are people who like it. It would be like your own little niche, like glitch rock and nerd rap and all that stuff. Well, why not?
Yeah.
I thought about it. It's something I care passionately about. I mean, I play World of Warcraft since 2005. Hey, how can you tell a vanilla player? Wait long enough, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
The story is very compelling. So there are so many things to talk about. Like in 2014, I thought, now don't do anything unless you care about it. Now I sat and thought, what can I talk about? I said, Theramore. That made me mad. And then I thought, what can I do? I certainly don't sound like Jaina. And I thought to myself, what can we do to make this interesting? A duet. It's going to be Jaina and Garrosh yelling at each other. Hey, Joe, you feel like growling through something? He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. What am I supposed to sound like? You're Orc Hitler. And he said, yeah, I can do that. So I didn't hear him until we started making the video. And he just all of a sudden, War Song Brothers. I'm like, oh, that's perfect, Joe. Excellent. I knew I could trust you to come up with something awesome. Of course, I didn't like it and they didn't invite us back, but it's still a very awesome song. I think out of all of them, Theramore has gotten the least love, and it's really a good song. I don't know why people didn't like it. And I got to say things like that quest text from the instance. There was one line I liked. It's, you spit on mercy, so now you'll have none. I'm like, hey, I'm totally using that.
Yeah.
You're going to my lyrics flat out, but that's too cool not to use. Yeah, and then I was at BlizzCon in 2013. Funny, the security was way different. I parked in the back, and I walked up, and I was asking a guy, where do I go in? And he just walked, it was a guy on the staff, the convention center, and he's like, it's over that way. And he just waved me in, so I'm like, okay. So I walked into the convention center like 2 hours before the convention opened. And I'm walking around, and I thought to myself, well, the trick is, look like you belong there. So I just kept striding around and nodding at people. And I'm like, I'm going to get in so much damn trouble if they figure out that somebody let me in here. So I'm like, okay. So finally I said, I'm pushing my luck. I better get out of here. So I went out the side door, and there was a big sign that said, BlizzCon, welcome. If you're a e-competitor, press, special guest, contestant, enter here. And I'm looking at it. I actually have a photograph of it because I stopped and took a picture of it. And I looked at it and I said, yes, that's what I'm going to do. And the next year I didn't have any money, so I couldn't go to BlizzCon, and I didn't know how to enter the contest. And then after that, I found out how, and I said, we are totally on this, guys. And I took another subject that I was passionate about, Crusader! To my utter astonishment, they picked it. I read the email, and I'd forgotten that of the time difference. So I got an email from Blizzard at like 11 o'clock at night. I thought, my credit card expired or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were pleased. I'm like, I actually sat and cried. It brought tears to my eyes. I was so happy that after all these years, and mind you, we tried with a lot of record companies, and everybody said, why do you think you can sing, woman? And finally somebody said, that was pretty good. I'm like, I'm so happy. But yes, so there you go. Secrets.
I loved hearing about your music history, and you know also what I love?
What?
Gnomes.
You do. I thought you would like. I was thinking of you when I wrote this one.
So here is Automatic.
Fixing a machine. I nearly dropped my wrench when I saw you through the stream. Alarm about warning lights, klaxons start to scream. Had to check my goggles cause I thought you were a dream. Your structural perfection passed the quality inspection. It was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. It was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. A gnome of academic rigor and highly skilled in math cause he was checking out my figure. Said your project lacks a piece of true iron sugar. I threw the plans to the floor and kissed him with great vigor. Your structural perfection passes quality inspection. It was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. It was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. A flat, but really it's a blessing. Cuddled in the workshop with pleasantly compressing. In our hearts and gears of love we're already enmeshing. Overhead the hanging lights were brilliantly fluorescing. And it was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. It was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. Electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. It was automatic, electrostatic, shear magnetic, whoa. Automatic, automatic, whoa. Woo! No,
I love that one. So of the two, that's my pick, but they're both great. I love both of them.
Yeah, we have a quandary. A quandary, I say.
Yes, and especially with the mechanomes coming in 8.2, and we'll be talking about that real shortly.
Oh, they are, huh?
Yes. So, but before we get into that, I've got a few more questions for you.
Okay.
So how did you get the ideas and inspiration to make these songs?
Some of them are, I have a topic that I wanted to work on, like Theramore and Crusader. Those I knew pretty much what I wanted. Like Crusader, I had an idea and a line, the opening line of 2 arms we are invaded. And I said, okay, that's a good start.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, we're going to go from there. I keep my old lyric sheets as I work on them. And what I do is I print out the lyrics that I have with big gaps in between. And I take it to work or something, and I sit and scribble and try to think of words. And when that one gets done, I basically throw it in a corner, and I keep building it up. So I looked at some of the lines that I didn't use. Yeah, self-edit is good. I could probably do better than that one.
Yeah.
Someday I'll publish all the terrible lines that I cut out of songs. What were you thinking? Then sometimes the lyrics come first, and that's unusual for me. I generally start with music as the base, and ask anybody who knows me, lyrics take me a long time because I like story songs. What's a song you like, Chris? Jolene. Okay, they're in 2.5 minutes. There's an entire story.
Yeah.
And it fascinated me when I was little. So you'll notice that I'm telling you a progression story from verse to verse. And sometimes not, like automatic. But no, even that they meet and then they're cuddling in the workshop. So that's great. I've never been one for sing the first verse. I'm Henry VIII. I am Henry VIII. I am. Second verse, same as the verse. It was funny, but don't do that. Like the Moody Blues, they got a bad habit. They'll sing the first verse, then they'll sing a bunch of stuff, and they always sing the first verse over again at the end. It's like, dude, come on. You've been around a long time, but you can probably try a new cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, automatic. It started with the words. I can't even remember what I was doing. I'm washing dishes, I think. And I'm doing, Your structural perfection passes quality inspection. And that's when I posted on Twitter. Said, crap, I think I just wrote a new BlizzCon song after I had resolved to not put myself through that agony of not being picked anymore. And it's like, yeah, I don't think so. Here's a song. Then I was honor bound. Well, I got a song. Now I got to write it. Because then it becomes my duty to the magical energies of the world of music. I'm like, okay. I'm on to duty. Off I went, guitar in hand. I wish I knew somebody who played keyboards because I would really like to make it Devo-esque. But I don't know anybody who plays keyboard because I think that Devo sound going in the background would be awesome.
Oh, that would, yeah.
And then I would take my official Devo Energy Dome hat and paint it purple, and I would wear that at BlizzCon.
If anybody listening is a keyboard player.
Yes, familiar with the work of Devo.
Yes.
You could win a free trip to California.
Absolutely.
And play on stage at BlizzCon. And let me tell you, that is a blast. For 1 week after a lifetime of failure and disappointment, I got treated like a rock star. It was great. They picked us up at the airport, which was wonderful. We didn't have to sit through that awful LA traffic. We were in the back of this big air-conditioned limousine with an open bar. And we're like, this is pretty fun. And they took us to the Hyatt Regency, and where our rooms were free, and people carried up our bags. And then we're waiting backstage at the show to go on. And somebody around said, "Are you thirsty?" I'm like, "Yes." And this assistant ran off at top speed and came back with a bottle of water. I'm like, "What? I have a handler?" And they're like, "Oh yes, I'm your handler for the rest of the show." I'm like, "Okay,
that's awesome."
Like, I think I could get used to this in a big hurry. So,
you mentioned the story about being slapped, and you wanted me to remind you with my short memory.
Yes. Okay. So I was in the 9th grade, and being a precocious child, I'd been double promoted. And I was 12 years old in the 9th grade. So I'm this little 12-year-old girl sitting in band class, trying to mind my own business with my friend. He was my best friend. I don't talk to him anymore, but that's another story. I wrote a song about that too, but that's a Hope Diamond non-Warcraft song. And he was sitting next to me, and this really, I think he was in the 10th grade. And this really obnoxious junior came up. He was like 17 or 18 years old. He was just king of the school. He was just the coolest. He played drums, and everybody loved him. He was really quite homely, but he didn't know it. He was one of those cases of supreme confidence covering bad features. We're like sitting completely on the opposite side of the band class room. We were sitting over by where the timpani were, instead of where all the popular kids were sitting. And he walked up and he came all the way across. I'm talking to Brian, and he had a tambourine, and he was shaking the tambourine in my face when I was trying to talk. I was putting up with it, and finally I said, "Get that out of my way," and I knocked it out of his hand. And the tambourine snapped in half because it was like public school equipment. It was just really old. I still got one of the jingles, by the way. I picked it up and kept it. I actually keep it as a good luck charm. So the jingles fell all over the floor, and he looked at me, and slightly bad language alert coming, okay? He looked at me and said, "Look what you did, you stupid bitch," and slapped me in the face.
Oh.
I may have been 12, but I stood up and I punched him in the mouth and split his lip. So
good for you.
Yeah, and then he realized everybody in the class, the teacher hadn't been in there yet. It was before class. And suddenly everybody's looking at him that he just got socked in the face by a 12-year-old girl. And second, that he'd slapped a 12-year-old girl. So already his life is over in school. So I was sitting against a wall, and he kept trying to push me back in my chair. And I hit my head on the windowsill, which only made me madder. So then I punched him in the gut. And so meanwhile, he's trying to push me away, and I'm just swinging at him. And finally the teacher came in, and suddenly everybody's just sitting like nothing ever happened. Butter wouldn't melt in our mouth.
Yes.
He's sitting there with a bloody mouth. I'm sitting there holding the back of my head. And, "No, we're fine, Mr. Shem. Thank you very much." Anyway, after the class, everybody was just beating on him. "What are you doing hitting a girl for to begin with?" And he came over and he's like, "I'm going to send all my bitches after you." I said, "Well, I hope they fight better than you do." Which doubly ruined him. And meanwhile, all this time, poor Brian's sitting there, and everybody starts yelling at him, "Why didn't you help?" And I swear to God, may God strike me dead, he said, "It really didn't look like she needed any." Which triply killed Dave Harris. And for the next 4 years, I had a nickname that I was extremely proud of. Boom Boom. And then, like every time new freshmen would come in, like the one guy, Steve Krett, who was actually halfway decent, he would say, "Don't piss off Boom Boom. She'll screw you up, man." And I on this little fat 13-year-old. They're like, bullshit. They're like, no, she will. But she'll hit you and keep hitting you. So that was my exciting adventure of the time I was slapped in the face.
Wow. Hopefully, maybe that kid learns to be nice to people. Hopefully.
I don't know. He spent the last year and a half of his high school career utterly ruined. So,
And I mean, rightfully so. I mean,
it is. Public shaming is one of the few powers we have left. And that guy he trashed himself. It was worth getting slapped in the face. I'm going to have to go dig my jingle out and like carry it around with me. Give it some fresh air.
What would you say is one hidden pitfall with music that prevents people from succeeding?
Honestly, not having any money. If you don't have a backer to get you to tour in other states, if you don't have a backer who knows somebody who can introduce you to somebody who can get you a deal at a studio, it's a terrible fact, but that nobody wants to talk about. But and this is true, here's one of my brushes with greatness. We were having our record mastered, our album Dark Augury, and Vicky and I were sitting there because the guys were too cool to be sit there for 3 hours per song because computers weren't that strong then. We're trying to master it. And we're having White Castle hamburgers. So the mastering guy comes in and he says, while we're eating, I want you to listen to this track we're mastering. His dad's got a lot of money and he's got a lot of backers. And he played the song for us and it was so bad. This guy was singing like, and like he walked out of the room and Vicky and I were just rolling on the couch laughing. We held it in that long. Like, oh my God, who is that? And he's called Kid Rock. I'm like, oh man. So there you go.
Wow. So
yeah, I still laugh at Kid Rock. You suck, Kid Rock. You're an embarrassment to the state.
Oh no! And now I'm going to get an email from Kid Rock tomorrow.
Well, they can send it to me.
Okay.
Send it to me, retpallyjill@yousuck.com.
I still appreciate you sitting down with me about music.
Well, thank you. I had a great time, and I was quite pleased to be asked. A lot of people can't be bothered, so it's nice to talk about it.
I think it's fascinating, both the music and then combining it with WoW. Before we go, though, so it was going to be just a normal week where we're just going to talk about music and stuff like that. And what does Blizzard like to do on Thursdays?
Info dump.
Absolutely.
Yeah, boy. I was just dying. I forgot my phone when I was at work, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't check anything. So I don't know anything that you're going to tell me.
Okay, which is good. Perfect.
For a reaction video.
Okay, so this is perfect. This won't be a deep dive. If you want a deep dive, there's a ton of stuff on other podcasts, but I want to kind of go over some of the cool pit bits.
Okay.
So we're getting our 2 new zones, Nashatar and Mechagon.
Oh, we're getting Mechagon too?
Yes, absolutely.
2 new zones, all right.
And then we're going to get a raid, Azari's Eternal Palace. Mm-hmm. We're going to get a mega dungeon. I have to say it because of Ali of Dungeon Fables. Mega dungeon.
Mega dungeon. What is it? Blackrock Depths?
This one's going to be Operation Mechagon.
Oh, sweet. I like the name.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
I wonder what a mecha dungeon is, because you say that to me and I think of old Blackrock Depths, where it's like 1 million bosses with 1 million miles between them.
It's going to be kind of like that. It's going to be 8 bosses in the dungeon and a lot of trash in between. Yeah.
I'm alone in this, but I loved Blackrock Depths. I'm like, woohoo.
Yeah, like one thing that killed me when I came back for Kata was how short dungeons are. I mean, I know it's going to be one of these that'll take a lot of time to get.
Yeah. You got to work for it. Nothing wrong with that.
Like Dire Maul nowadays, it's so disappointing when I go through Dire Maul.
Yeah. Blip, blip, blip. Oh, okay. There you go.
And before it was like a grand adventure going through it all, and you get to the end of the with all the ogres, and you're like, yeah, I finished it.
Yeah, and now it's like you walk through the door, there are the ogres. Blop. Big deal.
Oh, and we have somebody. Night saw some of the concept art for, and they were on a tour. Oh. And the Heart of Azeroth is going to get a update, so it's going to be more like Legion's artifacts, weapons. So it's going to kind of unlock things, and traits are going to be unlocked better. And you're going to now get essences that you will add to the Heart of Azeroth, and you'll have a main effect, which is kind of your primary, and then 2 passives. Just like talents, they can be re-modified, so not reforged. You can change them freely at any rested area.
Oh, well, that's cool. I wonder how that's going to work out.
Yeah, it's almost saying it's like glyphs with effects.
Oh, okay, cool. I still think we need a paladin glyph called Heroic Visage. So whenever you type smile, you get like the toothpick sparkle by your teeth. So that would be awesome.
Oh,
you hear me, Blizzard? That's what we should have.
There's the WoW TCG of the Center of Attention shirt that I wanted, but I don't have the money to buy that loot card.
Oh, that's too bad.
It sparkles. Like when you wear it, it makes your shirt sparkle.
That's cool. That sounds like my kind of shirt. Attention!
Yeah, I'm right here. Look at me.
Look! I'm attention whore.
That's me all the time. I mean, I'm trying to make everybody hear me because I want everyone to see my awesome armor, my awesome heritage armor for gnomes. So gnomes and tarns are getting heritage armor.
They are? Oh,
yeah.
Sweet. What's it look like?
For gnomes, it's all mechanical and stuff like that. And we get goggles on the head.
Oh, nice. They like that classic goggles look in all the art.
Yeah.
Where you've been working, you push them up. Yeah, sweet. That might be worth rolling a gnome for.
Yes, you can sing automatic.
That's right. My little gal dancing around. Eat me. Yeah, we got to set up a vote for that.
Absolutely. Tarn are going to get it too, so I've not seen what the Tarn look like. I bet it looks cool.
I'm sure it's very Native American.
Yeah.
I wonder how they get away with that. but it's already established, so I'm surprised that nobody's yelled, but I'm glad they haven't because too many people are yelling about too much silly stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like Native American style talking cows is not silly enough.
There's a lot of stuff that is now that I think if it had been made now, might have been harder to get some things through. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm just pleased there's one certified Polish person in Azeroth. Yes, the one dude on the boat. His name's Kozlowski.
And we're going to get new Magni Quest, new War Campaign, 2 new islands, Crestfall and Snow Blossom Village. I did not look into these enough.
Hey, I like islands, so that's cool.
We're going to get a heroic warfront, Battle for Stromgarde, and what they said about this one, they want to focus on the strategic aspects found in RTS games like StarCraft. What I was hoping Warfronts was going to be from the beginning when they announced it at BlizzCon, and they said they want to have a special unit sent at your base that need to be defended, enemy commander appearing on the field.
Oh, okay. So instead of just run in a straight line to the they're actually going to make it matter what bases we catch.
Yeah, and they were saying
idea.
They didn't want it to just be like a corridor fight.
Right, and that it does tend to be like that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Like, the Horde is taking blah, 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 and you're like, whatever.
I'm just over here mining or doing the lumberjacks and stuff like that. I mean...
lumberjack, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Hordes rampaging through the city.
Yeah. Just whistle while I work.
Yeah. Well, so far, this is some good information.
We're going to get a new arena, the Robodome.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, no, better. The Robodrome.
Oh, okay. Robodrome.
And Ashton will come back as an epic battleground.
Oh, that's good. I always liked it. I know nobody else did, but I thought it was pretty neat. It was a good idea.
And I think now that they're categorizing them differently, people will feel a little less, be like, you know what you're getting into when you go to an epic battleground.
Yeah, that's true. It's epic.
And then they're going to have flying unlocked with Pathfinder Part 2. And one thing that has been in an interview, flying will not only be in Borealis and Zandalar, it will also be in Nazjatar and Mechagon. Nice.
No tromping around the new areas.
Yes. So they fixed one of our biggest complaints about some of these other zones. So it'll be like Tanan where you can fly. Because that was one thing about Argus. I get what they were going for.
Well, I mean, it was the way the zone was set up. I mean, it was actually a very small zones.
Yeah.
And they used like verticality to hide that. So if you're on a mount, you'd see that it's like 2 city blocks wide.
Yeah.
This is the planet?
Just like the Blood Elves starting zone.
Yes. I mean, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, but speaking about mounts, though, something interesting with the mounts. They are going to be adding equipable mount gear.
Really?
Yeah. The 3 examples I had are a parachute.
Like when you ride off a mountain by accident?
Absolutely, which is going to be perfect for me. The description is equip in your mount. It's an emergency parachute that will deploy when dismounted high in the air. So that's going to be perfect. And it'll also be good for if you're flying, because war mode will be a interesting factor with all this stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't tried war mode yet. I'm saving that more for the end of the expansion. I got raiding to do right now.
Oh, absolutely. Got to get your trinkets. There'll be a trinket in Mechagon that will be punch cards that you'll do.
Oh, I remember that quest. God, I hated that quest.
Yeah. So they're bringing it back again for Mechagon.
Well, I guess it makes sense, but still, my heart hurts at the very punch cards. No. Okay.
And on the mount system with it, so like with the parachutes, they'll also be adding water walking and daze protection. So the downside of the water striders are no longer going to be working.
Really? Oh, I guess, yeah, they'd need the special equipment.
It's one of those that I still don't get why they have to remove it from the water strider. I mean, maybe any mount can become water striding, but why do you have to maybe something in the code for what they do?
I would think it's probably a code issue. I mean, it's kind of weird. I never use the water strider anyway. I use my fishing raft. I set that up and go swim. I love that stupid little raft.
The raft and the water strider are one that I never got, and I wanted to work towards. So now that they're adding this, I'm happy. But the Warcraft devs did want to clarify that if you got the water strider, you will get a free version of this when you log in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
And then the item is buying an account. And if you want more of these for different characters, they are at a discount from the water strider vendor.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
They're not just taking it away. They are trying to give something back to people.
Well, that's cool of them.
The mount equipment system requires to have reached level 100 on one character to unlock it.
Well, I got that covered.
And then after that, the equipment will require level 20 and will be account bound. So you only have to do it once, and then at level 20, get mounts, you can start using it.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's a good system. I know everybody's going to find a million ways to hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Understandably, Twitter's already up in arms a little bit about it. So I just wanted to bring out that there is some clarification on stuff. I did have a question like the Seahorse and Darkwater Skate, because that's the one that I have. Like the Seahorse and Vastier that takes you around. I wonder if they're going to change those effects, or because we don't have anything underwater that we know of. So that'll be interesting to see what happens.
They haven't mentioned it, so there might be underwater areas.
And maybe the underwater speed still works. It's just the water walking speed they're removing.
I think the best thing about Cataclysm was it added the underwater running animation. I really like that, where you sort of go whoosh, whoosh. It makes me laugh every time I see it.
Yeah. Then past that, there's a lot of smaller, awesome stuff going on. Like they're going to add Brewfast, a pretzel hat, and what was the other thing for a eating contest?
Now that's going to work.
Yes.
Lots of vomit at the end, I bet. They just love that animation.
Drinking and eating and then vomiting. Absolutely.
It's like going to a Red Wings game.
Was that Stand By Me with the that one character? What was their name? Lardas? Was that the one?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, yes. And they ate the eating contest. And for the record, I know that was a curse, but that was the name of a character in the show. But that was a curse recorded on the... And then in the 2 new zones, they are going to be adding in repeatables every day. So every day, different things will come in.
Okay.
Like you'll get combat allies that will come, and then you earn them levels and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
They mentioned redoing the world quest system. I don't know if that means just for these new zones or overall, and there'll be emissaries. So there's some stuff that we still don't know, and this is definitely not a deep dive. I just wanted to go over it. As you can see, there's a lot of awesome stuff for it.
Yeah, good job, Blizzard.
Yeah, reading all this stuff, I'm just on fire to see what's coming in, and I'm so excited to come on tonight. Like, my favorite mount now, they're adding a mono wheel. Thank you, Brian McNett, for the name clarification. I'm trying to figure out what the name of it was, but they're adding a gnomish mono wheel.
So it's like a powered unicycle?
Yeah.
Oh, man, they used to have those in the show Spiral Zone. That's so sweet. And that was another winter theme song.
Tron has a light cycle. We don't have that.
Yeah, a light cycle would be pretty badass, though.
Oh, that would
Can you
be.
imagine? You can pick the color.
Well, what if it only worked in Mechagon? Then it could like light up the whole zone and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then everybody would be mad they can't ride out like the Black Scarab.
That's true. And kind of like the Vastier Seahorse, which I just got again on mine. So everyone's probably asking, when do we get this on PTR?
Well, when do we? I know a cue when I hear one.
We get this on PTR next week.
Excellent.
I was talking with Nihar, and we were looking at kind of an article about when does PTR typically go to different things, and Nihar was going through like what are the dates between patches. Mm-hmm. So a conservative estimate's probably getting the release of it the middle or end of May. And then probably where we're realistically going to see it will be sometime in June.
All right. Maybe in time for my birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. And happy early birthday.
Thank you. Maybe we'll be playing WoW. Of
yes.
course I will be.
and getting all the awesome stuff in Mechagon and stuff like that.
Yes. Now, are they ending? Have you heard about Ahead of the Curve? When this new raid opens up, is that it for this tier?
I believe it when the Crucible of the Storm opens up. Yes.
Okay. Well, I better get to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I felt bad. One of my friends, Navux, was offering me to run Heroic with him tonight. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm raiding Twitch in people's ears right now. So I'm sorry.
I know. I'm missing my raid too. The things we must do to inform and entertain.
Yes. And I had a great time tonight, Jill.
I did too. I like doing this. And it's always fun being on the show. A little weird being the only one, but
yeah,
it's good for a change of pace.
And I figured tonight would be awesome because then I could play 2 songs and kind of do a deep dive into Jill and kind of learn more about you.
Well, I hope it was interesting.
I found it fascinating. I mean, it's just like all the stories, you have to be laughing at different stories. I mean, I had a great time. If you can see, I've got a smile on my face. Just
You do look pretty pleased.
This is why I love podcasting is stuff like this.
See, and that's exactly how I feel playing music. Just happy.
Do what you love. Find what makes you happy and
do it with all your might and main.
Allie was saying that AOTC is open for Battle of Dazar lore until 8.2 raid drops.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So that would be the Azara fight.
Okay, I'll have it by then. Maybe if I can get in my raid, I can still get it tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and everybody, let Jill know which of the 2 songs that you liked most, A Letter from Northrend or Automatic.
Yep, there's still time to decide what I'm going to be doing for the BlizzCon entry. So make your voices heard. Hell, God knows I do.
I'm partial to the automatic one. I like that.
Someone in our audience was saying that they love the Automatic song.
I think it was a gnome. It was a tiny voice.
Yes.
Oh, a little tiny voice. My, you're a tall one.
So, Jill, where can we find you across the interwebs?
If you want to find me on Twitter, it's @RetPallyJill. Pretty self-explanatory. I have my online shops of the Ret Noob Empire. That's on my list of things to do this year, is to get that all on one unified site. But if you find me on Twitter, I will gladly post every link I have to the materials I make. It's geekware for the WoW player, for the Overwatch player. Yeah, I do custom stuff. I've done custom shirts for families going to BlizzCon.
Nice.
You want it? I've done one-shots. My favorite was the one where I had to draw Overwatch Jeff as a wrestler, and it says mess with Jeff or wrestle with death or something like that. And the guy gave one to Jeff, which made me pretty happy. So yeah, I do custom work. Just yell at me. I love making stuff almost as much as I love making music.
Nice. Well, I'm going to head back to Ironforge so I can start trying to finish off the war campaign because I want to see what's happening with 8.2.
I know. I seem to have gotten sidetracked. I have to look what quest I left off on. I don't know where I got lost, but I'm not catching up to anything.
Oh, well, I mean, in Pathfinder, that's one that I always have to mention. Pathfinder requires stuff in both zones, so that's coming in 8.2, so I can finally fly around. That means I got to get on the war campaign.
I'm really close on the war campaign. I was following it pretty diligently, then I had to go to work. So I should be, I've got all the exalteds I need, so we'll see.
Well, I'm going to head back there and work on that quest, and then I'll let you get off to the raid to see if you can get
all right. It makes me sick beating up Jaina, you know that?
Yeah. Oh,
I still have questions about that whole mechanic. I can see where they wanted to try a different thing in storytelling, but man, that sucks. How come the Horde aren't attacking their guys, huh? Huh, Blizzard, huh?
And Mechagon, why do you have to have Mechagon be in the ice and stuff like that, like Han Solo and Carbonite?
I don't know. We've got poor Mechatork hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to save them. You know, they're going to re-mechanome them and start over again, I bet.
Activating customized Orphan transporter.
Well, I'm back at my home of Ironforge until we one day reclaim Nomergon.
Let's look at what has been happening in the community.
Awesome. Let's do that. So there is so much coming in 8.2. We didn't get to cover it all, and information keeps coming in. Jeremy Fiesel said that as data hits PTR, we'll see even more things that we found and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff coming in with 8.2. And a bunch of creators got to attend an event at Blizzard, and it kind of resembling the summits we talked about on episode 1.1. This event was regarding patch 8.2, and there are awesome people there like Salute, Taliesin and Eventel, Hazelnutty Games, Just Wait for Method, the fan site Judge Hype, the fan site Nerd Square, Serenia of 4 fan sites, and the team at Wild Chakra. MMO Champion also mentioned a new article by Forbes about 8.2. So I have a link to Wowhead and MMO Champion with a roundup of information. Definitely check out each of these creators. They are awesome and have some amazing tidbits about 8.2. I'm hoping to one day have all of them on this show, which hopefully, to quote Taliesin and Eventil, won't be a shit show. And then Despacito's Autism Awareness Month charity events. These continue, and Despacito was even on the front page of Twitch's WoW section. Over $1,300 has been raised so far. Definitely check them out. This is for two awesome charities, Integrate and ASAN. And speaking of community, BlizzCon's date should hopefully be announced real soon. So I won't be there this year just due to financial reasons, but I am planning to cover things happening up to it, during it, and even afterwards. I'll be providing information on BlizzCon events and parties, so get your money ready to support great events like TitchCon and Con Before the Storm. One of the interviews that was posted up earlier said BlizzCon will be happening. We just don't know the date yet. And as we near 8.2 and possible news of 8.3 and the next expansion, Method mentioned 9.0, which, I mean, it makes sense as they're already planning that. But as we move to new content, don't forget about what you have yet to collect, as well as all the awesome things like the new Gnome Bot, the Mono Wheel, and such in 8.2. If you want to figure out what you still have yet to collect, Wowhead has a new mount and battle pet collection tracker tool. Looking at it, I've still got so many things to collect. And Blizzard has revealed the winners of the Blizzard Entertainment Student Art Contest for 2018 to 2019. These are incredible, and I would love to see so many of these go into the game, and I'm excited to see these rising students and their future projects. I love seeing people's art, and these winners got a tour, a one-on-one mentorship with a senior artist, and many other prizes. So I've got a link in the show notes to view them. I want that corgi mount! And one final community thing, in addition to the Blizzard community, I am part of the podcasting community. My friend Emily Prokop has been nominated for a Webby Award. They are a one-person podcast team producing the Story Behind Podcast, which is a 5 to 10 minute weekly podcast that tells the extraordinary history of the ordinary regarding everyday objects. They have one on like mouthwash. They have one on the graham cracker. I mean, I love this podcast and I want to see them succeed. I know many of you are lore buffs. I think you would love this show too. Some of the history behind stuff is incredibly strange and fascinating. Well, this has been another episode of FrazlCast. Before we go, I always like to thank my Twitch subs out there. Thank you to Michael of the Blue Recluse and Nerd This Podcast, Anastasia of General Chat Podcast, who I will be having on next week. Oh, I'm so excited. Dusty Porter of Nerd This, Blizzard Umbrella, and YouTube Creators Hub Podcast, Chris of MMO Reporter, Posty, Resurus, who always gives me face palms, Thorn of Lagging Balls and BNN, Tosh Mifune of the Half Report, Zorts the Goblin of many Iron Man challenges and also a lot of jokes and stuff like that, who I am also working on getting on with Allie at some point. So I'm excited for that. And Nihar, who always gives me face palms and makes me so want to play Final Fantasy 14. I don't have the extra time and money for that. It looks amazing. So if you want things like the Vulpir, there is a really cool fox race being added into Final Fantasy 14. But enough of that. I want to thank all of you for your financial support. And if you want to support the show with a Twitch sub, go to support.gnomepodcast.com. Or if you want to buy a t-shirt, go to gnomeshirt.com. We have some amazing shirts coming in the future. All of these bits, shirts, and subs go to help supporting this labor of love. Well, even if we aren't yet getting Gnomeregon back, I'm excited to head into Mechagon. I'm ecstatic even. Well, I am Frazly, and you can find the show at gnomepodcast.com. Until next week, be awesome. I'm sorry. I've accidentally used the English translator. Welcome to the Fraz Report, a short broadcast by me, the Awesome Gnome, about the World of Warcraft. So this week, we are going to bring you a roller coaster of news. So the Darkmoon Faire roller coaster has opened up. So far, it's going really well. People are having a lot of fun. But we have some news. If any gnomes, goblins, and Vulpira get stopped by the height restriction, there's a new pair of platform shoes available, and they will ship to you directly from Amazon using the Blizzard Twitch Prime partnership. We reported on increased security at the Darkmoon Faire on the roller coaster. So far, that's working well. But we have some news from Winchester, who says they've been hearing that someone is going around and pickpocketing gnomes. Who could stoop so low? And in an amazing twist, World of Warcraft skills have saved a brother and sister from a moose attack. So they were walking along in a forest. A moose came along and wanted to attack the sister. The brother used the taunt ability of warriors and taunted it. Well, also paladins taunted, but in this case, warriors! The brother taunted the moose, and the moose lost interest and went away. So this shows that video games are awesome! And there will be a Caverns of Time portal that will be added in the upcoming Battle for Azeroth patch of 8.2. And then Blizzard has fixed Twitter, and in patch 8.1.5, Twitter communication works nowadays. You can now show your awesome achievements, and then when you get invincible, which I don't know how you can see it, you'll be able to post on Twitter that, hey, I got invincible finally. And no, Allie, I don't have it yet. I'm hoping one day I have it. And we have found out that an encrypted patch 8.2 build 29970 is on the WoW CDN for PTR. Does this mean 8.2 will be soon? You know, chances are that by the time you hear this, 8.2 will be on the PTR and we'll be all going excited about stuff. And there's a lot to be excited for in 8.2 because Polygon had an interview with Ian Hazzikostas and Mechagon and Nastatar. There will be flying once you unlock Pathfinder. Apparently, they will use some of the best things from the Thomas Isles, Argus, Tanan Jungle, and the Broken Shore. So 8.2 should be a lot of fun. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep pressing the Neuroglyph Translator bookmarklet. It's doing fun. So until next time, be awesome.
Attention. Have you or someone you love become tired of listening to the same old World of Warcraft podcasts? Have you converted one too many weekly instances into lagging roundtables? Then come on down and listen to the only show for the everyday World of Warcraft player, the Unshackled Fury podcast. With insider analysis from two players who've seen it all and probably taken one too many shots to the head, the Unshackled Fury podcast covers all the news and notes you need to know in and out of the world of Azeroth. So come download the show now on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play today.
The Unshackled Fury podcast contains strong language, and listeners of the show must be accompanied by an adult at all times. Listen responsibly.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard Games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.
What song goes like that? Oh, Rock This Town. Well, my baby and me went out late Saturday night. I had my whiskey on the rocks and change on the dollar for a jukebox. Well, I put a quarter right into that can, but all it played was Disco Man. Come on, baby, baby, let's get out of here right away. That song's great. We're going to rock this town, rock it inside out.